What's going on, everybody? My name's Dan and welcome to my channel, Dandamangaming. In this video, we'll be learning how to craft firearm ammo in 7 Days to Die Alpha 18. Now, with the new guns coming in Alpha 19, I'm not sure if there's new ammo coming with them, but these tips mostly apply to Alpha 19 as well. So for the first couple of days, you're really not going to have to worry about crafting ammo. You're going to find enough ammo for what you need. But as you advance, you're going to find that your ammo consumption is going to drastically increase. So in this video, we're going to go over the 4 basic types of ammo: the shotgun shell, the 9mm ammo, the 44 magnum ammo, and the 7.62 ammo, and we'll also be going over the AP ammo for each of them and the HP ammo for each of them, so make sure to stick around till the end of the video. Before you can even begin to think about crafting ammo, you're going to require a couple things. You're going to absolutely need a workbench. You're going to require at least 1 forge. I suggest 2. It's much more efficient, and you don't need a chemistry bench, but once again, I suggest 1. It will be much more efficient. After you have each one of those stations at your base, it is time to see what the costs of making ammo are. So if you go to your craft menu by pressing tab, another little tip, anytime there's a search bar on screen, you press F. It will automatically click that search bar for you. But if you go up here to 44 magnum ammo, you'll see that it's 1 bullet tip, 3 gunpowder, and 1 bullet casing to make it. 7.62 ammo is exactly the same, and 9mm ammo is a little bit cheaper. Now, shotgun ammo is a little bit different. In the place of bullet tips and bullet casings, you have buckshot and paper. I'll definitely go over that at some point later in the video. To make bullet tips, it's 2 lead, 1 clay at a forge. To make bullet casings, it's 6 brass, 1 clay at a forge. To make gunpowder, it is 1 nitrate powder and 1 coal at a chemistry station. So in this video, we'll be working on collecting 4 major resources: nitrate powder, coal, brass, and lead. Now, starting with coal, you can really find it all over the place. It's kind of rare to find when you're looting. You can find it in garbage piles. I've never really found it in any of them. You can find it in these medical piles too. These medical piles will pop up in pop and pill stores, which a lot of the time will also have these shipping crates that have coal in them. But really, looting isn't the best way to collect coal, so I suggest you get on over to the burnt forest. There's all these different blocks in the ground. These will yield coal for you. These large trees, they yield coal for you too. I noticed though that these small trees, they yield just wood, so there's no coal in any of these. But really, you should be collecting this coal on your way to go mining. Before you go mining, you're going to want to make sure that you either have a pickaxe or an auger on you. They're going to yield the same amount of coal from these nodes, but I actually prefer the pickaxe. It doesn't use gasoline and it's not nearly as loud. So these are what the coal nodes look like. They kind of look like a matte black rock. They can be found in any biome except for the desert. So that's why the burnt forest is a really good place to come. You can mine for coal here, and you can also get it from the trees. You can get it from the ember blocks. And when you find them out in the wild, you'll notice that on the ground next to them, there will also be coal. The textures will be different. And if you keep hitting at these and you keep digging at them, these will dig way down. Make sure you have a shovel on you, because once in a while there'll be dirt that will cover up other nodes, but it will dig way down. And before you mine too deep, if you go to your skills menu by pressing N, go to your strength attribute, and down to the mother lode perk, you'll find that with each level of mother lode, you'll harvest 20% more ore. So I highly recommend you spec into that before you do any major mining. And you're less likely to find these early on, but if you find the Art of Mining Volume 3, that allows you to harvest 10% more ore when you're buzzed on coffee, and the Art of Mining Volume 4, that allows you to craft a double strength coffee. So that's pretty much all there is to know about mining. Let's move on to nitrate powder. So nitrate powder is a lot like coal. You're going to find it while you're looting, but not a lot of it. Sometimes I'll find it in sinks, medical piles, pop and pills containers, trash containers, things of that sort. These decaying corpse blocks in the ground, they'll yield nitrate powder for you. These body bags, they will yield nitrate powder for you. They're really not worth it though. They're not much. These stalagmites, they will also yield nitrate powder for you. I've never ran into these. I think they're really only in the caves. But once again, you're going to want to work on mining. This is a nitrate node. It's white and it's a weird jagged shape. Now this ore will appear in any biome. So this node will just randomly appear pretty much anywhere. Just like any other ore, it'll be the node on top, the deposit underneath it. So like I said, make sure you're investing in that mother lode perk. It's probably my favorite perk. Let me know what your favorite perk is in the comment section below. And finally, we're on to our last mined resource, and that resource is lead. Now lead can be looted in the form of trophies, in the form of lead fishing weights. These are commonly found in random containers like trashes and sinks. You can also find car batteries. Now, obviously, those are used to craft vehicles, so I'd hold on to those until you have yourself a ride. There's also Lucky Looter Volume 4. Now, this will allow you to find more lead in loot, So when you're searching through those trash cans, you'll find more lead trophies and you'll find more lead fishing weights. But ultimately, just like nitrate powder, just like coal, you're going to want to go mining. This is what the lead node looks like. It's shiny and cubic. You really can't miss it. Brass is by far the hardest resource to find. And the reason that is you can't go mining for it. Now, just like lead, you're going to find it in random containers. You're going to find it in trash containers. You're going to find it underneath sinks. You're going to find it loose. You're going to find it in the form of trophies. You're going to find it in the form of doorknobs. And you're going to find it in the form of candlesticks. But you're also going to find it in random POIs around the world. Now, I know you'll find a bunch of these. You'll find these galore actually in office buildings. So I'll go ahead and bust that down. And I notice if I use my wrench, I get mechanical parts and brass from it, as opposed to if I use my pickaxe, I just get the brass. Now these faucets, it doesn't really matter what you use. You'll always get one brass faucet from it. So I'll show you with my wrench now. I will just get one brass faucet. And these are the candle bras. You will get brass from them. I've never actually seen them in the world. And I also notice if you go to your skills menu again, if you spec into salvage operations, it will give you more brass when you break these down with a wrench. So that is another good way to get brass. There are 2 books that will help you on your quest to find brass. One of those being Lucky Looter Volume 3, which is just like Lucky Looter Volume 4, but instead of lead, you'll find more brass in random containers. And Wasteland Treasures Volume 5. This is really peculiar. This one will always allow you to collect a doorknob off of doors. Now this only works with the POI doors. So if you try to do this with a door that you built, you will not get a doorknob. But other than that, every time you'll get a doorknob. You can also collect brass from these lights. It really beats me to what specific POI you'll find these at, but I thought I'd use them as an example to show you the difference between using your pickaxe and your wrench on them. So if you notice, I'll use my pickaxe and I'll get brass and iron off of it, as opposed to if I use my wrench, I will get mechanical parts. And I should also get the brass and iron. Yes, so if you use your wrench, you get mechanical parts, brass, and iron. Ultimately, though, the best way to find brass is to find radiators. Now, radiators can be found in a couple different places. You'll find them on these blocks on the ground. Typically, you'll find those in junkyards. Once again, if you have the salvage operations perk, I notice you'll have a higher chance of getting a radiator off of a car. I believe you can only get a radiator off of a car when it's in its full form, though. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, see, we got the radiator right there. You can also get radiators off of these. These AC units are on top of buildings. They're on top of generally like restaurants and stores. I notice once again, if you have these salvage operations or the book, you will find more radiators in these. Once in a while, I'll even find 2. Sometimes I won't find any at all. While all those are good ways to collect brass, ultimately the best way is to go into a POI and find yourself one of these little heating units. These are going to be all over POIs. I've even been in houses that have 3 or 4 of them. I've been in houses that every single room has one of these. Generally, you're only going to find these in houses. They will always give you a radiator, and you're going to want to use your wrench on them. If you look at it, there's my radiator. If I use my pickaxe, there's my radiator. So now that we have our brass, we have our lead, we have our nitrate powder, and we have our coal, let's get back on up there. So the first step into putting everything together is to get your lead smelting and to get your brass smelting. This is why I was saying you're going to want 2 forges, one for lead and one for brass. For the purpose of this video, I've already smelted a bunch of stuff. To make the bullet casings and the bullet tips, you're also going to need clay soil. Clay soil, you just use your shovel and go out and dig. Depending on what terrain you hit, you're going to get different things. Now, ultimately, with the different ways you can collect brass and collect lead, these can be scrapped in your inventory if I just separate one. So one doorknob will scrap into 37, but if I put it into a forge, let's see how much it scraps for. So we are at 1638. So that one doorknob gave us 50 brass instead of the 37 that it would have in our pack. Like I was saying, your brass radiator is what's going to give you the most brass. It's going to give you the most brass for your buck, no pun intended. From one brass radiator in the forge, you're going to get 250 brass. Now with the lead things, you don't get nearly as much from putting them into the forges. So ultimately, still your best bet for lead is to go mining. So after you've given your lead and brass some time to smelt down, you're going to go back to your forges. In the lead forge, you're going to type in bullet in your search bar. Let's see how much we can make. So I can make 746 bullet tips. Also in the lead forge, you're going to make buckshot for the shotgun ammo. That is 3 lead and 1 clay for 1 buckshot. Same thing with your brass. You're going to come over to your brass forge, type in bullet, and your bullet casing right there. So you can make 273 bullet casings. So obviously for bullets, you're going to require a lot more brass than you are lead. One other thing that's notable too with the forges is if you get the anvil, what the anvil actually does is it crafts faster in the forge. And if you get the bellows, everything will smelt faster. So now that you have that smelted down, you have your bullet casings being made, you have your bullet tips being made, let's work on making gunpowder. At your chemistry station, it's 1 coal, 1 nitrate powder to craft 1 gunpowder, and in your pack, it is 2 coal, 2 nitrate powder to craft 1 gunpowder. So like I said at the beginning of the video, you're really going to want to have that chemistry bench. And after you have your gunpowder, your bullet tips, and your bullet casings, you're going to head right over to your workbench, put it all together. You're going to type in ammo at the top, and let's see how much 44 magnum ammo I can make out of 2,000 gunpowder and 1,000 bullet tips and casings. Oh geez, that can't be good. Also, like I said at the beginning of the video, we'll be going over the AP and the HP ammo. AP ammo is the armor piercing ammo, and HP ammo is hollow point ammo. AP ammo is going to go through armor, and HP ammo is going to do more damage. Personally, I prefer the HP ammo. It does more damage, and you don't really run into too many zombies that have armor on. Now, to make these, you're going to have to unlock certain things through books. As you can see, to unlock the AP ammo for the 44 Magnum, I need to use Magnum Enforcer Volume 5. And if I come down to the HP ammo for that, I need to have Magnum Enforcer Volume 6, and it will go the same with the 9mm ammo, for the 7.62 ammo. The shotgun ammo, on the other hand, is a little bit different. If I can find that here real quick. There we go. So the shotgun ammo, once again, you're going to have to use Shotgun Messiah to unlock it. But I noticed these also require scrap polymers and forged steel. That's for a whole nother video. After you've collected the full book series for a specific type of ammo, it allows you to do this nifty little thing where you craft boxes of ammo. When the boxes of ammo, instead of getting 1 bullet, you get 100 bullets. And at the cost of 80 bullets. So essentially crafting these boxes of ammo is giving you a 20% efficiency boost. Now it's obviously going to be a little while before you've collected a full set, but it's definitely a nifty little trick. One thing that I forgot to mention too is if you are really desperate enough for brass, you can get brass from the Duke's Casino tokens. Each casino token actually breaks down into 2 brass. So if you ever see brass at a trader, do not buy it. Whatever you're going to spend on that brass, you could just smelt down the money and get more brass from that. Thank you so much to everybody for watching, especially my buddies Justin and David. You guys always watch all my videos, and it really means the world to me. If you guys have any questions about the video or 7 Days to Die at all, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below. Hell, if the question's good enough, I might even make a video on it. If you found the video helpful, make sure to click that like button, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications for new 7 Days to Die content 2 times a week. Peace.